So here's an update to the very, very popular story I did a couple days ago, which I'm sure you guys have been dying to hear more what's going on with this wacko situation, which was titled, "My wife refuses to accept our divorce, and I think she's trying to trick me." And that's about the guy who is in his 30s, I believe, married for 4 years, and shortly after they got married, the SCX life really came to a screeching halt. Or shall I say, really slowed down, then came to a screeching halt. To which point his wife said that she came out as being asexual, and therefore then is now excused from providing him with any lovin'. And thank the Lord this guy had enough self-respect to say, no, that doesn't work for me. And I might add, he mentioned before they got married, they were hooking up like horny Catholic rabbits. But magically, once she had the ring, the ceremony, and his lifestyle, which he provides, he does extremely well. And I think somebody told me in the comment section he comes from a family of money. Hey, she doesn't have to serve her husband anymore. Service, people freak out if I said serve your husband. So anyway, now he's divorcing her. You all recall that. And she lost her mind. We're not getting a divorce, that type of thing. And it ended with him coming home, and he served her, and he offered her a sweet deal, way better deal I'd give her. He comes home to find a naked woman in his bed. And that was her friend, and she said, you can hook up with her whenever you want so long as you stay with me. And we all suspected that no doubt she's been cheating on him all along. She has a secret lover. Maybe she's gay, whatever. But it just doesn't sit right. And he's like, nah, we're getting divorced here. So anyhow, that's the recap. And here is his updates. He says here, I'll try to keep this as concise as possible. I feel overwhelmed, so I probably won't bother with another update after this one. I don't know. My wife came to my hotel last night, and we talked about everything, and she told me the full truth and what's going on in her mind. There is no way in hell this guy's getting the full truth. He's getting the trickle truth. He says, number one, a few of you commented in the last post, so you were right. She's always been asexual. She and her whole family have known this since she was 16 years old. Apparently, this is the reason why her last long-term relationships of 3 years ended. He broke up with her after the SCX between them diminished to being non-existent after the first year. She told me that the SCX is easier for her in the beginning when emotions are running high, but she still needs to force herself to have it. Well, funny she didn't mention that before you guys got together. You know, when people typically ask, oh, let's hear about your previous relationship. So what made that break up? That type of thing. Because women love to talk about that shit, as I'm sure you are well aware, usually on the first date. So she neglected to mention that. That would have given him a clue, like maybe this isn't going to work. She left that part out. And also, I like how she would do it a lot in the beginning when the emotions were running high. So, in other words, this guy can divorce her, and she'll find her next sucker to marry, and that guy will be hooking up left and right once again, until she gets what she wants. I'm not buying so much of this shit. What else? I knew they broke up due to irresolvable differences, but I didn't ask for details, nor did she tell me. Smack! Well, that was a mistake, my man. I hope you don't make that again. After a lot of apologies and crying, she told me that I was the first person she was able to tolerate sex with for so long, and that she did enjoy it a handful of times. But after a while, she still felt like she was being raped. Oh, for crying out loud. Making him out to be the villain. I broke down after hearing this and started kicking myself for not catching on to any of this. She said she tried her best to please me as much as she could. She went into this marriage knowing darn well what let's just say for argument's sake, this is true. Devil's advocate. Well, she went into this knowing that it was going to be a problem. That her previous relationship ended because of this, and this guy's been swindled. Right? This goes to show you the kind of person she is. I have no sympathy. Number two, she still doesn't want a divorce and doesn't want the house, cars, or the savings. She just wants me and is ready to do whatever it takes to keep me. She even said that she would sign a post-nup stating this. Dude, it's not what you want. End of story. What happens if you want to have kids? Right? There's a question. 3, as for her friend, she was there during her last breakup and helped to support her through it. My wife went to her after I brought up divorce and talked things out. Her friend suggested that she open the relationship for me, but she said she didn't want me sleeping with strange women, so her friend volunteered herself to be the one that sleeps with me. My wife thought this was a great idea, which led to the fiasco at our house. I won't comment on her appearance because it doesn't matter, and I don't blame the friend. Was her friend a pro? Is she paying her friend? I mean, yeah, maybe the friend is attracted to this guy here, but what, her friend's going to be his regular hookup? This is ridiculous. Come on here. I think she knew darn well her husband wouldn't go along with this, and it was a big setup. And her friend's like, fine, I'll be naked for him, and let's just see what happens. 4. My lawyer got back to me, and you were right. I don't need her permission, but I will have to wait if I want to push it through. Number 5. I asked her why she lied to me this entire time, and she said she was tired of being rejected after revealing she was asexual, so she convinced herself that she'd be able to force herself to have sex during the relationship. Selfish a-hole. And this was probably accompanied by a lot of waterworks. The hormone testing, the sessions in couples therapy, and all of our solutions was just her buying time to find another way around sex, or give herself enough time to build up the strength to start regularly having sex with me. Or, option C, she was biding her time, letting more and more years pass in your marriage so she can get more out of it. I know I'm a cynical fuck, but you can't blame me, guys. 6. Our conversation ended with us holding each other in bed, crying for a couple hours. No, we did not have sex. Well, more of that cuddling he was talking about in the first story. She pleaded with me to hold off on the divorce, to look for a solution together, and left my hotel room. 7. I'm now sitting alone typing this fucking post. I guess I found out that we don't share everything with each other. 8. Thank you to everyone who messaged me directly. I'm still trying to get to all of them. And 9. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, bro, you know what you have to do. You may not be a popular option, but I'm sorry this happened to you. But you know what? You're 4 years into the marriage. You obviously do very well for yourself. You're offering her way more than I would ever give, but obviously you just want to end it. And she's obviously going to fight you tooth and nail to the end until, like, your Henry VIII had an easier time divorcing Catherine of Aragon, who's definitely put up a fight, than what this chick is going to put him through. You know, we know what old Henry did to the other ones that didn't want divorce. But anyhow, no, you can't be with her. It's not going to work out. And I'm not buying all this stuff that she's putting out. I've just heard too many tales, too many stories, experienced too much. There's a lot of BS and unanswered questions going on here, you know? And even if, let's just say for argument's sake, she truly was asexual and all that, and she really cares about you and all that, well, she didn't care about you enough to tell you about this early on. She let you marry her knowing full well what was going to happen, just like in the other times and all that. And again, what if you wanted to have kids? You know, that is a whole other issue right then and there. Yeah, she can make it happen, but the whole time while you're conceiving your children, she's going to think that it's grape. I mean, really? But you can't have a marriage like this, and you can't be married and then go out and bang other women. Now, there are people out there, guys out there like, sounds good to me. Pretty wife's at home raising the kids and cooking dinner and has no interest in other men. And meanwhile, you get to go out and pork other women. What a great deal. But no, that's not what he wants. That's not what I'd want in a situation like that, as well as many of you. So it has to end. I'm sorry going through this, my man, but at least it's 4 years in versus 20 years in. And then there's the other part that this is a big con. Who knows? She could have a lover that is her real guy the whole time. That's why she's denying this guy sex. She makes out like a bandit in divorce, and they work as a team. And then she goes on to another guy, and you get the point. And maybe her guy is doing the same thing to unsuspecting wealthy women. They can make a whole show out of this. So anyhow, bro, I'm sorry you're going through this, and I do wish you luck. But you got to go through this. And if you don't do any updates, you know, we're all here behind you. But if you do any updates, definitely I will share your story. Wish you the best.